Start this live off. It was 7 years ago today. One act of selfless service got me into this fight. One little girl, 2 weeks into her 18th birthday, Karina McClurkin. This is why, and this is who I started this fight for. This is why, and this is who I started this. Sorry about that, but I didn't get much sleep last night. I couldn't. Much as I tried, it's like knowing for a fact she is dead now. Couldn't get out of my head last night. Trying to go to sleep. I'm pretty much on 0 hours of sleep right now. Couldn't really go to sleep. Go to try to close my eyes. Go to try to actually go to sleep, and the only thing I'm hearing is a girl's voice in the back of my head. If they see me, I can't. If they see me, I'm as good as dead. Replaying and resounding in my head all night last night, just like 7 years ago I heard in person. There's a cell phone. Marlena Smith and a few others will not like here soon. In that cell phone, there's a text message actually to Karina McClurkin's cell phone. My name is Michael Phillips. I was the one that helped you last night. Did you make it home? In that cell phone was the reply from her cell phone. If she was dead, who sent the text back? Hmm? Makes you wonder. Yes, I did. Thank you for everything. The same exact wording I got from a driver that picked her up. That's laughed at me in my face, went on lives on here, acting like they did nothing wrong. Nothing to see here. I have a heart to heart with many of you right now. Over the next 126 days, there's an exact reason. There's a group, often hers. Some of you do the math, figure out the date. 126 days exactly from today. I will be unleashing a hell onto this group, the ones in and around it, this network of individuals, this drug ring, the Sons of Odin issue. I've said from the very beginning. But over the next 126 days, I'll be unleashing a hell that you have not seen me do yet. I'll be unleashing hell on each and every single one of these individuals. What's shown still to this day, like Brad Holder, friends with individuals that go back into that jerk ring, right there, right next to Gabriel Ellis. And like I showed on that last video, what is the likelihood? February 12th, or was it? No, the 11th. You had individuals in and around Gabe calling him blood brother after they just did another case. Gabe already had 5 bodies at his feet, deaths that he was directly related to and involved in. Not only that, he was a child predator. Not just a child predator, but he actually, unlike uh, Chadwell, became a national known name to many of you. Gabe Ellis was a much worse predator. How long has he been doing that? How many children has he preyed upon? But they hurried up and got rid of him. We looked in that 2018 video I've dropped on here. The same Indiana State Police you guys put so much trust in, including Carter and his detectives. I want you to ask yourself this. The same Indiana State Police post Miami County, the same task force that was behind Keegan's case, 2018, before murder sheets ever became a known name, I dropped a video. Within that, you got Charles Chuck Myers, the Internet Crime Task Force director for the Indiana State Police, on video admitting to 40 plus child exploitation cases between him and KPD sitting cold on their desks, including Delphi. Yes, including Delphi. What we know about Indiana State Police, talking, interviewing, and having Keegan Klein, his whole case, all that was sitting right there on that 2018 video. I'm still working on editing, cutting, and shortening this video where you guys will actually look and actually watch this in its entirety. I want you to hear from Andrew Smith, an individual close to Gabe. In that ring, there was a child. And I'm going to edit that video off of my Facebook Live October 4th. Come the 5th, I got that little girl home. That's the one you hear me talking about in the 2018 video. I got her home. But Andrew Smith was an individual, already had a warrant for his arrest, and within 48 hours, he had not one, but two children down that were runaways or missing at his location, at his apartment. With a felony warrant, running his name, knowing who he is, knowing his history, he walks. Just like they allowed Gabriel Ellis and his child exploitation cases dismissed. Kind of helps when your mother's friends with the mayor at the time. Just saying. But yes, it was 7 years ago today. My fight with these individuals started. In the next 126 days, I'm going to make it a living, breathing, every single time they go to sleep. I want them to hear my voice, see my face, and know we are legion. I am not one. We are many, and we are on the hunt. I've had some try to run to the cops and stuff like that, saying, oh, he's threatening, he's waving a gun and everything else like that on here. I had a few emails here lately with a certain individual. The day of when the defense dropped a certain few names, you had an individual the day of when that dropped, the day of, started emailing me and trying to be like, hey, I'm willing to work with you, tell you what I know if you tell me what you know. Nah, I just think it's odd that this individual, I'm just going to put it J.E., started emailing me about his now wife, their involvement, more than one case, including him. One thing I got to say is they're trying to play it off to me is I'm a God-fearing man. I'm going to church. I've changed my life around. I'm not no longer in the drug ring, but you're sure around it. You think Bible thumping now is going to save you from things you and the ring were involved with years back. You can praise Jesus all you want, but I guarantee you're going to rot in the gates of hell when you pass. And many of you sitting, laugh me in my face, went on lives on here, trying to act like you didn't do anything. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. They're sitting back thinking they're getting by with this. There's other names that should be and will be, marking my words, added to Karina McClurkin's case. Like I said, many within that case, Ricky Bobby Lewis, he already admitted everything I've said is true, down to what I've said that's sitting in this cell phone right here in my hand. The text from Karina McClurkin. Did you make it home that night? October 11th, 2016 was when the text was sent from my phone later that day when I woke up. Sent her a text. In that text, it reads exactly this, and I guarantee you, Marlena, if it was you that you were contacted, even your own words, to come get her glasses and her cell phone, if it was you that sent that text back to me, it's about to come to light. Took me a while. Charge this phone up. This is the exact cell phone that text came from off of this cell phone to Karina McClurkin's cell phone. I know who I helped. I know who I seen get picked up and by who. But this group, after her case, calling each other blood brothers, sons of Odin, blood brothers, they've been involved with this since about 2018, this little group. Brad Holder and other names included. They started doing this and started believing and started looking into and portraying themselves as such since about 2008. Certain time when a certain father rolled on a certain individual in a 2008 drug bust right here, right there in Carroll County, 100 South and Prince William Road. Some of the same names involved there, going to like Jennifer Barnes, Jennifer Dean, her multiple pages. There's a lot to be seen when you actually open your eyes and look where I've been telling you to look. Police use it as a network analysis. They're seeing a network of individuals involved in drug trafficking, crime. The FBI, 3 months before Delphi, had me look into the Sons of Odin, the Vinlanders, 22 movement. And that was about 3 months before Delphi. Delphi, Peru, Logansport, all were named. And in doing such, they had me looking into it as a domestic terrorism issue, a threat to life or lives. They had a exact reason to want to be looking into these groups, these names, some of which sit in my 1023 federal informant files to this day. You'd be surprised a lot of the names you're actually just now seeing or have seen have been brought up. And some of you asking, why 126 days? 126 days from now is when this group, these individuals, acted again 2 more times. 96 days after that, they did another case. Ones like Jennifer Dean, other names that are hidden, but they're sitting in actually files where you can look up the names on certain witnesses that are on a lawsuit. Look at the ring that y'all go back to and who and what that ring is around. Open your eyes. I'm making it my mission. I know if some of you notice now I'm got like a yellowish tint going on. Kitty isn't doing too well. I'm actually holding a lot more water weight, so I'm looking like a Oompa Loompa right now. So I've got the plush face, the sausage fingers going on right now. I can barely close my hand, but the next 126 days, mark my words, I will make it a living, breathing, waking up every single day, living hell for a group of individuals. You started a fight with me 7 years ago. For 7 years now, I've been waging a war on you. I've been holding back certain names, certain individuals to go back in. But you know what? I'm gonna get my hands kind of roll my sleeves up. I'm about to rage war on you for the next 126 plus days. Why I say 126 days? The next 126 days for a bunch of you are going to be a living, breathing hell. When it is exposed, not only your names are on just a certain few cases right now that people are stone cold fixated on, but I'm going to show each and every single person around this issue, not just the Sons of Odin issue. And I'm going to let this be known. Many of you are just keep on saying the Sons of Odin, Sons of Odin, and the Odinism. What this group is trying to portray and represent when they say Sons of Odin, it's actually an outlaw MC motorcycle club. They're trying to represent that, oh, we are the Sons of Odin. They're not. They're false representing and trying to act like something they aren't. I'm just flabbergasted. Some of you just now looking, you haven't looked at Amber and Brad Holder's Tears Hellhounds of Indiana, Norse Pagan Kindred. That's sitting in my FBI informant files for years now. That's the Kindred. It's what they call the little group they belong to, Brad and his wife, directly. They're flaunting it in your face. There's so much to be seen, but yet so many people, like a certain YouTuber, remember the spoon? Yeah, treating us like little babies, and here comes the spoon. You know who I'm talking about. You and a few others are so fast that, oh, nothing to look here, nothing to see here. You've been doing it to me for years. But yet, some of the same individuals that sit in my informant files, some of the names have been talked about now. I've talked about some. There's still some more. One thing that hasn't been shown with the Sons of Odin issue is the drug ring. Yes, it's a cartel fed drug ring and ran drug ring. It's got Saxon Knights, which is the white supremacy group many of these uh, belong to. And yes, we are live now. And Mr. Brad Woodhouse, do you really want me to start showing your friends, your affiliations, go back in around this drug ring, what you're not saying? I'll be more than happy to show that. Tara, some of the other things I've already documented, you're running around saying, look at me, look at me. Well, I've looked. I've seen your name a few times now. Well before now. I just think it's odd that you're showing around a certain name that shows back to not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but multiple missing code cases. Some you're sitting friends with. Go back to Mr. Brandon Woodhouse. Yeah, by all means, I'll call you out. Not only will I call you out, I'll show what I'm talking about. Just remember, Brandon, one thing I seen right off the bat was Tara. Hmm. But nobody wants to talk about this drug ring where there's been one serial killer, an associate of his, longtime friends with a certain dad. Another murder suspect from Florida. Guess who? Sits around a dad, an uncle, and an aunt? Hmm. Same drug ring Blaine McClellan dealt for, and the network isn't too hard to see once you start noticing some names, the dealers at the time, who they're around, still to this day. It's not hard to notice, not hard to see. Blaine McClellan, dealing in methamphetamine. Nicholas McClellan's first cousin. Makes you wonder. The amount of elected officials in their family, like Nita Duff, William Duff, associated and are involved with the same dealing with the same people. You got Blaine McClellan, Derek German, you've got William Duff, among many others in and around this drug ring. Dealers at the time, former and present, are showing, but nothing to see here. You got three murder suspects sitting, friends, with not only him, but family members for years. Nothing to see here. Let's put the blinders on. Let's hide that. Let's not bring that up. Multiple deaths are on the same drug ring. Some of his best buddies killed when they thought somebody inside this drug ring was about to rat on them. They can rat on other people to get less time, but the moment they come after them and try to get less time for ratting on them, we can't have that. There's multiple deaths around this drug ring. 19 of these are children. There's about 60 plus throughout the state of Indiana. I'm going to start showing every 60, all 19 children's cases, back to who, what, when, where, how. It's a network. It's a much larger network than any of you are seeing right now. I've bits and pieces been throwing out a few names here, a few names there. But the other names involved in this child. And yes, I don't care what you say. 2 weeks into your 18th birthday, and if you heard and you know anything that that child got put through, the hell. And the 2 weeks into her being an adult, she never got to see adulthood. Went through life as a living hell growing up. Some of the things she was forced to do, used as a mule. Facts. For this drug ring. I got a real big issue when it comes to this drug ring because I've done warned you before. But I knew that in 2020, you actually came after my own blood, my flesh and blood, on a hit, try to kill her. Didn't get her. Wasn't expecting her boyfriend to open the door to the bedroom of the house that you broke into. He's the one that you shot and ran like cowards. And you still got a death threat and a hit on a family member of mine. Oh, the gates of hell is about to open on you all. I warned you, if you ever come after me again, my family, my friends, I will make sure to open up the gates of hell on each and every single one of you, of which you have never seen me do before. I've been asked by so many of you to start doing this. I'm giving myself now to when the next two murders took place, 126 days from now. I'll be exposing every single name, the affiliations. Not only that, I'm going to back it up, show you the multiple dealing in meth in association with who. There's times there's actually been raids of multiple people. I've been saying, look here. I've been thinking people would be looking back where I'm showing, pulling up documents to see for your own self. To see right there in front of your own eyes. Look for yourself. But I'm starting to notice now a lot of these people, like a certain YouTuber said, how we're getting spoon fed. You got to spoon fed feed information to some of these individuals that don't want to take the time to look back videos where Indiana State Police, Charles Chuck Myers, the one involved, the director at the time of the child exploitation internet crimes against children for the Indiana State Police. Why hasn't Carter been asked some hard questions? When is it and how is it acceptable when you have your own detectives refusing to get federal help when it comes to children's, not adults, children's cases, child exploitation, rape, among other things? They're going to hide that, let it sit on their desk, go cold. As the detectives from ISP and KPD, excuse me, actually said they didn't have enough money and they didn't have enough manpower. Is their excuse. Why? In that lab I did within KPD, it just so happened there was an Indiana State Trooper from Miami County in KPD at that day. Starting to make me wonder where the guy from the church I was not seeing, but the church I was go to at the time, didn't let us know ahead of time, hey, I'm bringing him in. I want him to talk to you guys yet again. Makes me wonder if this is not pre-planned and why they had certain individuals like the Indiana State Police detective already sitting there. Oh, be more than glad to bring you back. But like I said, Chadwell became a national known name. But yet, Gabriel Ellis, child exploitation, was on the run with an underage girl. How many other victims did he have? And one thing I've noticed with Gabriel Ellis, Andrew Smith, and a bunch of other cases, you got the adults like Gabriel Ellis, Andrew Smith, getting their charges. What charges? They're gone. Red Pug, thank you. But yeah, one thing I'm sitting here thinking is, how is it the adults get their charges dismissed or just a slap on the wrist, able to run around with active warrants like nothing happened? But then you got the children having to go through juvenile, the system, having to complete their charges for being involved. But the adults get to walk away. I want you to open your eyes. Carroll County, Howard County. Look how many McCann and McClellan are letting walk when it comes to children's cases. Open your eyes. It will really shock you on how many cases are being dismissed. Charges dropped against these children. Their cases. The adults over those cases, involved in those cases. Shocking. It shows you. Are they for the adults or are they for the children? In the same 2018 video, you hear me bringing up a mother's own crying when she was telling me. We asked them for a rape kit when she was found at Andrew Smith's apartment. They refused. The 24 hours, 48 hours. The longer she sat at Kinsey Juvenile Hall, the more her family was demanding and asking and begging, do a rape kit. What will it show? That you let an individual, not one, but two children, within 48 hours found at Andrew Smith's apartment? Let him walk with an active felony warrant. Just like Gabriel Ellis. They were quick to dismiss him involved with Delphi, but so many of these individuals, even Brad Holder, Travis, a bunch of others that have been named now. If you would have looked when I told you to look, you would have been seeing a lot of these names well before now. You've been seeing a bunch of these issues well before now. Some of you, like Pug and a few others, have taken the time to look. Whoa, holy crap. It's like when this dropped with the defense, what they dropped this, everybody's so quick to dismiss what's actually sitting in Indiana State Police, local detectives, right there in their files. This isn't just something pulled out of the air, and let's throw this out there. They should have done it in a different way. And instead of looking towards the Odinism, towards white supremacy, look at Saxon Knights. A lot of these individuals, the felons that are involved with these, not every group, when it comes to the pagan, Nordic religion, the kindreds, not every group takes in felons. Some of them, we don't want your kind here. We don't want any felons. No felons allowed. There's been some militias. Talking about militias, Brad Holder, I hope you see this. You were the reason why Michael Curtis, Joint Terrorism Task Force, FBI Indianapolis, was there in Delphi. Your militia group, not the Sons of Odin issue, not your kindred, but your militia group you belong to, still to this day. I just thought it was odd because Tony Slocum, a lot of his friends, take the time. Look up the friends list. State Trooper Tony Slocum, if you look at his friends list, there's some that actually sit in my informant files for years. There's a Frank Castiello, former sheriff out of Michigan. He was involved with more than one federal armed standoff where people were actually killed. Federal standoff. There's an individual actually lost their life. Major issues came from that. He had an active major role in that. Nothing to see here. But it makes you wonder, why are they refusing to look into that drug ring connection? Is it the amount of elected officials, their own family, like Blaine McClellan, dealing for that same ring? The friends that are in and around him still to this day showing up? It'd be a hell of a reason not to want to look into this when their own families got history. This drug ring's brought in as a motive why the girls were killed. Blaine would, not Blaine, but Nicholas McClellan, among others, really would not want to bring in the drug ring aspect when it involves your own family involved with the same drug ring involved. It's not just Sons of Odin issue. There was a motive. Who, what, when, where, and why. What took place happened. A lot of that, it blows people's mind. If you even so much just talk about it, think about it, look towards that. It's right there in front of you. And people, for years now, when they dismissed me, laughed at me, I'm a joke, kicked me off of live streams, told you not to bring that up, they're getting all the subscribers. They're getting a bunch more money, donations, memberships, things I really don't push for. I use my platform as a way from 7 years ago today. I was speaking out. I was telling you, and I was begging people to look here, and this is why. Up to a firefighter taking life. That really burns my ass. I'm sorry. But hearing it exactly from a mother, the name, I already knew it was a firefighter. Found out that, and the look on her face is like, how'd you know that? I've done the hard work. You know a name, you might as well give it to me. And if I see that firefighter on the list of individuals searching for the girls, I'm going to blow my lid. I've been looking for a list of searchers, be it fire departments, what the fire department, what agency. There's got to be somewhere a list of all the ones that were checking in and checking out on searching. If a search is done correctly, you got a sign in and a sign out sheet. When you signed in, started helping search. When you're signed out and leaving. The reason being is if during this time period they need witnesses, individuals that were part of the search. Need you to come in, ask some questions. There should be contact information, the names, ones involved with the search, what times they were part of the search, what part of the search they were in, and locations. Can't tell me somewhere that does not say. And if you got individuals that are around one case or other cases that are involved with the search, that's sick. Especially if it's a firefighter that was said to have paid during sexual exploitation more than once, and it was that his hand killed somebody. His sick fetish and paying an individual to do what he did, up to taking somebody's life, and how a mother that would use her own daughter as a drug mule is believed and involved still to this day. Got to do your addiction somehow. You'll go against the same ones that feed your addiction, you and your other daughter's addiction that still lasts to this day. You'd be cut off. You would not know where to get your drugs. But I don't care who you are, the individuals in this network, the network analysis I've set back, and I got at least over 20,000 easy screenshots, full friends lists, everything. I got the network analysis. I've been trying to portray it to you guys. Sometimes it doesn't come out right or it gets confused. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. The names, individuals in and around this network go back not only just 19 children's cases, but over 60 missing and killed cases in Indiana. A lot of these same names intermingle from Indianapolis, Terre Haute. This same drug ring has not been afraid. There's been three, not one, not two, three badges, lives been taken in botched raids against this ring. Two sheriff's deputies and a police officer, Terre Haute. This ring has taken three badges' lives. It's a hell of a lot larger issue that I've been trying to show you, tell you where to look. But it's a hell of a lot bigger issue than many of you think. But like I said, I've got 126 days. But the 126 days, it's going to be the 7th anniversary of it. Yeah, two more cases. I'm hoping before that anniversary, just like today's anniversary. This is why I started this fight. This fight has become a war. Sad when some of you think you could run the law saying, oh my god, he's talking about me. He's wearing a vest. He's wearing a gun. Oh my god. The only threats I'm making to you is I'm going to make sure the gates of hell open up and swallow you. You burn in hell the moment you die. And I'm hoping to God, when this is all said and done, many of you are rotting behind bars for the rest of your life. If you get arrested, I hope to God you lose the rights to see your children. How some of you could be parents after the shit you were involved with. How the hell do you turn a blind eye to that? Meth psychosis? I was high on meth. I didn't know what I was doing. What is it? But 7 years ago, 7 years ago today, stopped and helped somebody on my way home. I've had people threaten my life. If I keep talking, I'll be the next one missing and killed. I've let it be known I got stage 4 renal failure. I'm starting to have some other issues. I'm not afraid of you. My own body's going to take me out before you ever get the chance to. People on other pages have been laughing about me wearing this. If you ever see me with the rifle, you've seen me with this, you made fun of me. What this is showing is I'm not afraid to go to war. Come shooting at me. You don't know what I have and what I do not have on. What I do or what I do not have in my backpack, on my possession. I am trained and I'm highly proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. You think you guys scare me? When I was an FBI informant, I was taking on foreign and domestic. I had a domestic case here in Indiana. I worked with networks across the international that took out an individual that came from Indiana. It was a precision raid to actually kill him and jail her when she came back. I took on terrorism suspects, both foreign and domestic. And any one of you pieces of low-life scum, dealers, in and around this drug ring, you think you scare me one bit? I'm ready for war. You started this fight. Well, I'm about to make it a war. The next 126 days, what I'm going to be exposing, who I'm going to be exposing, the network I'm going to be exposing. You're going to see elected officials like Nicholas McClellan, his own family, dealing for the same drug ring. Among other elected officials, you're going to start seeing some of these elected officials friends with multiple people within and around this drug ring. It's there. Still to this day, you can see it for your own selves. But I've had people laugh at me, thinking, oh, this is supposed to be making my image better. I don't care about my image. Right now, I want to be known. You can come at me. I'm ready for war. You don't scare me. I've had that there for a while. I will take that flag and I will go knowing that will be only coming after you faster. I swore my life to the people and my nation. I signed that paycheck. There's a check I signed with up to including my life. An oath I swore. Makes me sick, some of you like Brad Holder, to call yourself a veteran. Some of these individuals that go back, hmm, instead of just looking at the Odinism issue, some of you right now, I'll put it up right here, to give you the exact date. And give me a second. I'm trying to look up right now where there's a Indiana Department, like looking up right now, but there's actually Indiana Department of Corrections when it comes to the Saxon Knights. Saxon Knights hold a lot of power when it comes to the drugs and the money to pay off these correction officers, to have these officers helping them getting drugs, money, contraband brought in. I want you to look up Indiana Department of Corrections correctional officers fired and indicted on their involvement helping the Saxon Knights and certain individual. Cable Ellis, he was high ranking at the time when he had these connections and help. You get it in, you get high ranking. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys noticed, I got a little Brett Memo being a little pain, so. But when you get a time, like I said, look up Indiana Department of Corrections, correctional officers fired, indicted, and spent time behind bars, helping getting drugs and contraband in for the Saxon Knights. You really want to start looking and to be amazed at what you find? Look at what these felons, while they're in jail, so the Aryan Brotherhood and stuff like that, what's taken the place of Aryan Brotherhood is Saxon, Saxon, Knights. White supremacy. A lot of these individuals, when they go to prison, you'll be surprised. A certain father, when he's in prison, who he was involved with. I won't say it nowadays, but when he was behind bars, you had to get certain individuals help, securities, and be involved with while you're behind bars in order to survive. But like I said, next 126 days is going to be hell for these individuals in and around and involved. From high to low, just to a user. When your name's shown around more than one case, not only am I going to be afraid, and I've had individuals saying, "Oh, you're going to get me for slander." How's it slander when you dealt for this ring such and such time period, was busted such and such time period, and the network that you're around still to this day, I bring up, it's all facts, it's documents, it's Freedom of Information Act. I ain't scared. It's not slander when it's speaking the truth. Then to now. The next 126 days is going to become hell for many of you. I'll be glad. And I'm hoping by the end of this 126 days, I see many more names sitting and rotting behind bars.